Okay, friends. So this is Miss Fitzgerald. I'll be going over the article, When Will We Have Flying Cars with you today? If you can think back to our technology unit, I want you to take a second to think back about some different ways that we have seen technology change over time. And we did spend some time. We also went to the museum and got to see how cars changed. So remember, a lot of times people see a problem or they think of ways that something could be a little bit easier, and that's when we make technological changes. So, starting to think about flying cars, this article is going to give us a little bit more information, and then I'll help you kind of go through some of the questions. So, I'll read the article and I'll read the questions and help you think through some of the more challenging ones. So, when will we have flying cars? Two kinds of flying cars are being developed that may solve the problem. One type is called the transition. It has rotating blades that spin and lift the car. Those blades fold flat against the sides when the car is on the ground. Another kind is named the sky car. It has large propellers. These propeller wings fold up and can be packed in the car's trunk. Flying cars will not just fly up from the road. They will have to take off from an airport runway. Still, some people are eager to have one of their own. Nobody is sure when flying cars will be available, but one company already has 100 customers waiting for one. So fasten your seatbelts and get ready for takeoff. Someday, cars may be on the road and in the air. Think about some of the problems that we identify with cars today, especially I'm thinking about traffic and how flying cars could really help solve some of those problems. I think they'd be great. Let's read the comprehension questions now. Number one says, which people are trying to build flying cars? A, engineers, B, airplane pilots, C, race car drivers. So friends, you should be able to figure this one out on your own. You should be able to go back to the text. Remember, when we're trying to solve multiple choice questions, we need to go back to the text and try to find that answer. Number two, what is a main problem engineers are trying to solve to make flying cars? So think about, what is a problem that engineers are encountering while they're trying to make these cars? A, flying cars need wings that will not stick out into other lanes of the road. B, flying cars need to have a special kind of gas to be able to fly. C, flying cars need to be able to fly up into the air straight from the road. Number three, it is difficult to make a flying car that can be used safely. What evidence from the text supports this conclusion? So this is part of the question, friends. It shouldn't say number A. We have three answer choices here. This is part of the question, letter A. So it says, what evidence from the text supports this conclusion? B, two kinds of flying cars are being developed that may solve the problem. C, one company already has 100 customers waiting for a flying car. D, so far, no one has been able to get a car off the ground safely. So remember, we're trying to figure out which evidence supports the statement. It is difficult to make a flying car that can be used safely. I'm going to help you think through this one. It's a little bit challenging. So I'm looking at A, where it says two kinds of flying cars are being developed that may solve the problem. I'm trying to think, does that kind of support that it's difficult to make a flying car that can be used safely? I'm not sure this evidence really supports that. Let me keep going. One company already has 100 customers waiting for a flying car. I don't think this evidence really has anything to do with not being able to get flying cars that are used safely. D, so far, no one has been able to get a car off the ground safely. Hmm. So now between B and D, I think those are definitely two of the best options. I've eliminated C. So I think the evidence that really supports the conclusion that it's difficult to make a safe flying car is this one, where it states that no one has been able to get the car off the ground safely. This shows that it's difficult because nobody's been able to do it yet. So, friends, for this answer, you should be circling D. Number 4, read the sentences from the text. People have been trying to build a flying car for a long time. Nobody is sure when flying cars will be available, but one company already has 100 customers waiting for one. What can you conclude based off this evidence? So, friends, it's basically asking, what do you know based off of these two sentences? You're kind of making an inference here. What do you just know? A, engineers are very close to inventing a flying car. B, many people are excited about flying cars. C, people are not interested in cars that can fly. So if one company already has 100 customers, that's a lot of customers waiting for more. What can you conclude about that? Number 5. What is the main idea of this article? So remember, the main idea is what the text is mostly about. And we could be using the pictures, we can be using the title. If it's an article that has headings, we can also use the headings to help us think about what is it mostly about. A, flying cars will need to take off from an airport runway instead of just flying up from the road. B, engineers are trying to make flying cars, but first they have to solve the problems of flying cars by finding different solutions. C, engineers are developing a flying car called the Sky Car, which has wings that can fold up and fit in the trunk's car. So, which one do you think shows what the article is mostly about? Number 6, read these sentences from the text. One problem is that flying cars need wings. The wings must be designed so they will not stick out into other lanes of the road. Engineers are looking for solutions to that problem. What does the word designed mean here? A, thrown away. B, planned and built. C, forgotten. What does the word designed mean? It says the wings must be designed so they will not stick out. So one good strategy here, friends, would be plugging in the different options. So I'm going to plug in A. The wings must be thrown away so that they will not stick out into other lanes of the road. Hmm, let's try B. The wings must be planned and built so they will not stick out into other lanes of the road. That sounds like it fits. A little bit more than the first one, right? Or C, the wings must be forgotten so they will not stick out into other lanes of the road. So we have to think about not just which one fits in the sentence, which one makes the most sense based off of the meaning. And I would definitely say that B, planned and built, makes the most sense here, right? So I would circle B because they have to make sure engineers have a really good plan so that the wings don't stick out. So they just can't start building, right? They have to first plan it and then build it. Number 7, read the sentence from the text. Nobody is sure when flying cars will be available, but one company already has 100 customers waiting for one. Choose the answer that best completes the sentence below without changing the meaning of the sentence from the text. It says, blank nobody is sure when flying cars will be available. One company already has 100 customers waiting for one. So our options are so, because, and even though. So it's either going to read, so nobody is sure when flying cars will be available. One company already has 100 customers waiting for one. Because nobody is sure when flying cars will be available, one company already has 100 customers waiting for one. Or even though nobody is sure when flying cars will be available, one company already has 100 customers waiting for one. You figure out which one makes the most sense. Two more. Number 8. Why are wings a problem for engineers trying to design flying cars? So you need to go back to the text, figure out why wings are a problem for engineers trying to design flying cars, and write out your answer here. And then number 9, what are the two solutions engineers have found to the flying car's wings problem? Remember, solution is like how you solve a problem. So how do they kind of find ways to solve that problem? And you're going to write the two solutions on this line. All right, friends. So if you need to ever go back, remember you can rewind the video, go back and re-listen to the article if you listen to it again. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to your teachers and send us your work once you finish. We cannot wait to see it. Have a great day.